I know Al Hammond likes to protect his fighters, but this is ridiculous. You know, Andy Ruiz is fighting Chris Areola. Nobody asked him to fight Chris Areola. And he got Luis Ortiz after getting obliterated by Deontay Wilder last year. He comes back and fight a guy named Scott Alexander. Now, Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz, they both had the opportunity to fight each other. So this card that's coming up, who's Andy Ruiz is headlining to fight Chris Areola, right? And it's slated for November 7th. It should really be Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. That's a fight I wanted to see, and a lot of people from the boxing community wanted to see that fight. We're not seeing that fight. We're seeing what do you call these guys? Chris Areola is a corpse. He's super old and should not be fighting. Should retire. This guy Luis Ortiz is fighting is Scott Alexander. I got his box break up. 16 wins, 3 losses, 8 KOs. All right, and he fought. The last time he fought was earlier this year in February against a guy named Luis David Rodriguez. And Luis David Rodriguez has a record of 7 wins, 26 losses. You know? So, what are these guys doing? Al Heyman, what are you doing? You know? Here's the thing. When you do fights like this, right? These safe fights, these pedestrian fights, especially in the heavyweight division, this has to succeed. Because if Andy Ruiz is the headliner, right? He's the marquee name on this card, fighting Chris Areola, which of course nobody asked for. He has to do numbers. I'm pretty sure they're not fighting in front of a crowd, but in terms of viewership, he has to do numbers. If he can't do numbers by himself, this is going to prove. This fight, this upcoming fight with Chris Areola and Andy Ruiz is going to prove Andy Ruiz doesn't have the marquee value to headline fights on his own. All right? So, again, we're seeing Andy Ruiz versus Chris Areola and Luis Ortiz versus Scott Alexander, when it really should be Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. They both, like I said, they both had the opportunity to fight each other earlier this year, and they dropped the ball. From what I gather, Andy Ruiz said he wanted a tune-up fight. Luis Ortiz is a tune-up fight, considerably, especially coming off a knockout loss like he did. Luis Ortiz right now is a tune-up, a dangerous tune-up, but a tune-up nonetheless. So it could have been your opportunity to take Luis Ortiz, who people still consider Luis Ortiz the boogeyman of the heavyweight division. The true boogeyman of the heavyweight division right now is Povetkin. Because like I said, Dillian White didn't have to take that fight. Povetkin. Right? So, yeah, man, it is what it is, man. This fight is going to happen. Chris Areola, Andy Ruiz, and Luis Ortiz, Scott Alexander. They're going to be, I guess, co-headlining on November 7th on PBC. So it is what it is, man. Mediocrity at its best. That's what PBC likes to promote. Mediocrity, right? So it is what it is, family. Those are my thoughts on that. GMOG Sports TV. You already know what it is. Signing out. Peace.